very good evening, folks. Welcome, 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 welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, we are happy that you guys are here with us this evening. Pace and power, boots on the ground. Good to have each and every one of you here. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us. Share, 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 share. One more bell ring. Norbert Jones, good evening to you, and Mandy, good evening to you as well, and Rajin, I see you here as well, and Askrit and Edward. Good night to all of you folks, wherever you're joining us from. Pace and power, boots on the ground. How you all doing? Terrence and Claire and Siobhan and Andrew says pace, pace, pace. Great to see you folks. How you all doing? Tis the season, John, Penelope, Sharon. Tis the season. You know what we're talking about. Pace and power, good folks. Pace and power. Tis the season. We are on the march to September 1, 2025. That is the season to which we refer. We're on that long march, folks. It's not so long again. Not so long again. This is what all the fuss is about, good folks. It is what all the fussing is about. Any fighting? Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome. We had some interesting press conferences today. This is where you are. The fight card. We had some interesting, very, very interesting press conferences today. A lot of good stuff coming out of it. A lot of good stuff coming out of it. How you folks are doing? Ring the bell one time. One time as we come in. The next day is spouse and they get a little vexed with the noise. It is what it is. We're sorry. It is what it is. How you all doing, folks? How was the day? It's Friday, the 20th of June. Do you believe it? Yes, it is. Friday, 20th of June. Margaret Nelson, how are you doing? Brenda Solomon, Rita, Glenn, Everett, Penelope, Mandy, Ingrid, Pollard. How are you doing, folks? Great to have all of you on the live. Great to have all of you on the live. It's Dolores, Marcus, Michelle, Eva, is it Eva, William, Bunbury. Good to have you on the live as well. And all you happy, beautiful folks. I see William is here as well, folks. Pace and power, boots on the ground. You know what we got to do, folks? You know what we got to do? Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button, folks, as we head into it tonight. As we head into it, something to open the appetite. Something to get the juices flowing. Good, folks. Something to get the juices flowing. You know, we told y'all. All right. Enough for the bell. Enough for the bell. One for the road. Good to have all of you here. Wherever you're joining us from, pull it back. Pull back the bell. Pull back the bell. The open now, folks. Remember we told you that press conference today out of the Lines for Change. Yesterday, we told you that the political parties, 28 of them, met with GCOM. GCOM for rundown, the lowdown, the latest. How are preps coming? Do they have any questions about the process? That's what the stakeholders meeting was for yesterday. Lines for Change is Beverly Alert, one of the deputy general secretaries of the party. Said it was pure nonsense. It was foolishness. It was craziness. They're not ready. That's what Beverly said. Of course, in her own unique way, in her own unique style. Good folks. That's the opener. Suffer it to be so. The opener. Beverly Alert for the Lines for Change, folks. Deputy General Secretary. And one of them is there too. Beverly.
I attended that meeting yesterday along with another colleague from the Alliance for Change. Questions were raised by a few of the smaller parties, specifically what happens after the votes would have been totaled, should that join a list of small parties be eligible to name a representative to sit in the National Assembly. Which party would have that responsibility? Because, as you may be aware, each party contesting the elections would have its own representative of its list. But on the day of tallying the votes for those parties, the votes are tallied together. And if there are sufficient votes for that joiner list from the parties to be awarded a seat in the National Assembly, their question basically was who will be the party or the representative to name that person. And this derives from what happened with Asha Kissoon, who was squatting in the parliament. We had legal opinions, but I can tell you, the Ghana Elections Commission has not thoroughly, if at all, examined that issue. And so Ghana Elections Commission at yesterday's meeting could provide no advice for those small parties or for any of the parties sitting there. Now, compound with that, Ghana Elections Commission does not have a legal officer. And so we're heading into an election. Those small parties are working diligently, working very hard, trying to get their list together, trying to get their signatories together, making themselves eligible to contest the elections. But then what happens? GCOM is not in a position to offer them guidance on what happens with the joiner list. And so that's another failure of GCOM after GCOM would have said that they're ready for the elections. Yesterday, information session clearly demonstrated that GCOM is not ready for the 2025 polls. And that, Mr. Vera, does not lend confidence to the electorate. Persons who may be thinking of putting their vote, putting their X to one of those smaller parties, will now have to consider the value of their vote. How will it be counted? And that is not a very healthy situation. What? 2 months or so, July, August, yes, just over 2 months away from E-Day. And so GCOM has a lot of groundwork. They said that they're going to get back to us with some information on that. After 2.5 years of that issue not being addressed, I have zero confidence that it will be addressed in 2 months.
Zero confidence. Zero confidence. Yeah, because when rain can't fall, you can't fall. And that is short of it, folks. You're sharing the live, you're smashing that emoji button. Rain can't fall, you won't do it either. Patricia Sana, Bantu King. Good to have you on the live. You're telling Mandy, hello, and in Eva, you're telling me, champ, means something. It's like a short. It's like a not even here. Karen Clark, Mandy, lovely, John, Karen. My God, some beautiful folks on the live side. Tommy Gibbs is here as well. You gotta watch. GCOM. You gotta watch them. I'm telling you all, them boys done start setting the stage. The early stages of rigging the damn thing. Brace it over. Brace it over. I told you about this one yesterday, but now you can see for yourself. But look, story here. What story now? The minute you take your eyes off them boys, they're down here. That's why I want y'all know. The minute you take your eyes off them boys, cats, eat your dinner. You better hold a focus. You better hold a focus. What story here now, folks? What story? Remember to me this yesterday? What story? This is that same event Sister Beverly was telling us about just now. Beverly Alert from the Lives for Change. That stakeholder meeting they had, and one of the pressing issues that came out of that meeting was to join the list. Well, look, story here. You see this fella here on my left? Yeah. Anil Nandalal. Anil Chatri Nandalal. He's the Chatri. He's the Chat 4 and 5 and 6 and so. And he's a lower Chatri. You see this fella here? He's entering GCOM as his party representative. Look, story here now. Look, Regan. As his Father of his mercies. As his party's representative. And he's also simultaneously wearing the hat of the Attorney General. And if that was not bad enough, he is also wearing the hat, folks. Hold on. It gave me a little headache. He also wearing the hat, folks. You see why we got flushed them out? You see why we got flushed them out? He's up. Flush out, man. Flush out Anil naman. He's also wearing the hat of the advisor to legal advisor to Chikam. This is Animal Farm. And all animals are created equal. Huh? He's also, folks, you all hear that? If you tell that to a Barbadian, the skin would crawl. He is also the league, and he's a candidate in the election, you know. They're rigging it now with we wide awake. You're gonna get lambstick to go look from nighttime now. You are wide awake, brothers and sisters. Wide awake and they're rigging the thing. Y'all think that is acceptable? It is untenable, folks. Ludicrous. I could hear some of y'all say, Bridgemorehan? Bridgemorehan's everything mixed up. Are you sharing the damn light? Chinsing, Leslie? Leslie say, fed up. Skeggs. I fed up. That's what Leslie said. I fed up Skeggs. Right? It's with my glasses. Janelle Bernadette. Y'all see this? Y'all? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, good folks. Make it make sense. You know the good book says? The good book says, when these things happen, the end has not come. Brothers and sisters, the end has not come. They say when these things happen, it is the beginning of wisdom. Something's on my face. It's the beginning of sorrows. See, confused me a second. The good book on a Friday night in the church reading your Bible prayer meeting. When these things happen, it's not the end. That's the Pastor Simon Harris. It's the beginning of sorrows. He's Attorney General. He's in the Central Executive Party. He's an executive member. He's Attorney General, and he's a candidate in the election. And he advising Chikam on legal matters. Who shall hear our complaint? Who shall hear our plea? The Honorable Nicole Terrio, U.S. Ambassador, the Honorable Jane Miller, UK High Commissioner. Who shall hear the plea? My God, in front of you, with your eye open. That's how they've started doing it. That's why I want you to know. Brace it over. Brace it over. So that was point one. What story here, folks? That's the first part. What story here? Part two. Yeah, sit down. Your foot up in the chair or your foot crossed? Before you, beneath you. How are you there? Folks, I like to see good initiatives. I love to see good initiatives. And that's why when we spotted the First Lady recently, we had to share the initiative that we saw her thing in here. You know? We got to spread the good news. Got to spread the good news as well. And so we spotted. That's me what it says. Spotted First Lady Arya Ali. First Lady Arya Ali, she was commissioning a new community park at Lenora. And it's called Zia Play Park. Right? And it falls on the First Lady's National Beautification Project. It's a collaboration between the First Lady's Office, Ministry of Public Works, and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. Again, located at Lenora, it has a lot of play amenities, a gazebo, washroom, you know, comfortable seating, lighting, a variety of trees. They said the play park will serve as a vital communal hub for several villages across the West Coast, offering a family-safe environment and scenic places to relax and socialize and so on. Spotted. I hope they got some good food places there. I hope they got some good food places. Right? Some good food places. Right? So congratulations to the First Lady in the Zia Play Park at Lenora. Right? At Lenora, Wenda, Lovely Queen, Roxanne, Wilma, Michelle New and Kirk. Good to have all of you on the live tonight. So congrats to the First Lady. Wherever she is. Congrats to her. Please and thank you. Yep. Please and thank you, folks. I tell you, it was a story. What story, hey? That's the last one we had for you. That's the last one. In other news, you know, we're a little facetious on these words. In other news, folks, moving on. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. In other news, right? In other news, you know, a lot of people have been saying, wrongly so. You see, by time truth, they say lie to get halfway around the world before truth put on the boots. True story. True story. A lie gets halfway around the world. You struggling for tire laces. Struggling to tie your laces. I've been hearing all sorts of things. I gone over to the PNCR. I take membership. Anybody who an ardent viewer of this program, you don't know how much I love the AFC, my party. I've signed up for membership no place else. No place else. I'm happy that my brother Adam Harris, you know, did a story today to set all those terrible lies. Set all them right. Pace and power. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. You know, when I was learning journalism, they said, report the news, don't become the news. You know, I feel that today. Take a look.
The announcement that Jagdeo Finance, Sherrod Duncan, and Ricky Ramsroop had moved to establish an alliance with the Partnership for National Unity surprised many and shocked most. The three were all executive members of the Alliance for Change. Today, Friday, leader of the APNU, Aubrey Norton, explained that none has joined the People's National Congress reform.
Well, they're not members of the PNCR. They are going to come in under APNU. And if you look at the chart of the APNU, it has the opportunity for organizations and individuals. Now, I do not know how they intend to do it. All I can say, we're going to facilitate them and ensure they enjoy all members, whether it's the individual level or the organization level, all members of APNU enjoy. They will enjoy.
Norton said that the AFC had also approached members of APNU and the PNCR to defect to that party.
At least one on the East Coast did. And we didn't proceed to expel them. They're still in our membership. But pettiness is part of life.
He said that Jagdeo Finance was unanimously agreed to by the entire executive of the party to be the prime ministerial candidate.
She has the intellect. She is a woman. She is from the indigenous community and in contact with the indigenous community. And we believe she's qualified to be prime minister.
With the announcement coming so close to nomination day, there was the possibility that her name could have ended up on the lists of APNU and AFC.
I am not aware that any one of them would have signed the AFC list. Now, we are aware that we have engaged them and they've undertaken to be on the APNU.
The law doesn't permit a person to be on the lists of the two political parties at the same time.
Yep, you heard it there. You heard it. You heard it there, folks. I've never felt so good being excommunicated from anything in my life. Not that I've been excommunicated from anything before, you know. But that's my party. Tell you how they want me. Did I tell you many times they won't get rid of me long now? Denny's and Cheryl, Gisela and Sheena Hazel. You know, we have been accepted into the app now. You know, we've been accepted. We never sign no membership for no other party. APTU is not a party. You see? You think you understand that? No. Forward ever. Backward never. Coalition all the way. So, folks, I was listening to the Lines for Change press conference today, and besides talking about us, they were talking also about the preparations for general and regional elections 2024. And I like how David Patterson, the chairman of the Lines for Change, put things. He said, you know, if this symbol of ours is going to be accepted, we got a map in our logo, in our party symbol. We got a map again, and since the I know if the protected areas commission going to allow it. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to allow it. You see that? Savage says you didn't get to reach the 25 mark for AFC. You don't say. So David Patterson was wondering. I wonder if they can reject this symbol that we've used for the last 4 elections that has the Guyana map as part of it. He was thinking out loud. I submit the thing, but I wonder. I wonder. What did Mandy say, Beatrice? What did I miss? Quanamingo. When did all the other folks joining us? Good to have all of you on the live. I see Koana and Elise and Orwin Dunn. Orwin said they're trying to get rid of you long now. Sometimes they can't take a hint and I don't listen. Tavi and Wenda, Audrey, Everett and Brennan. Good to have all you folks on the live tonight. As I said, David Patterson is giving an update on where the party is in terms of his election preparation today. Take a look, good folks. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And take a listen.
The Alliance for Change would have submitted our symbol in accordance with GCOM's requirement. That was submitted on their portal as well as hard copies. It's the same symbol we've used in all our elections that we contested. And I would hope that there's no difficulties or no protected agencies would make an objection because we have the map of Guyana in our symbol. But it was accepted before. But as this is a very interesting elections, and I wouldn't be surprised if anything like that happens. With regards to our nominees and those things like that, that's well in advance. We, like all the other parties, of course, were caught blindsided by the new change that GCOM made last week Thursday to nomination forms, which we are well advanced. But what we've done is downloaded, photocopied, and dispatched once again the forms for our nominees, and that process is going well. Despite, we went to some remote areas, as I mentioned before, in the first occasion. We have to go back to them at great expense and manpower, but because we wanted a wide variety of nominees. But that will be done. We are at the moment, getting our candidates for both national, regional, and general elections signed up, and that is on course. And obviously, as next week or before nomination day, obviously we will definitely explain to you or reveal who would be on our slate. Quite interesting slate. I don't think we want to get into that today. To start a continued rumor mills on who's there. We just thought that we have our slate, we have our nomination forms, and we're well on our way in preparation for probably the first stage in elections, which is nomination day, and that's July the 14th, as a reminder.
Welcome back, folks. A little black. What is it? Like we didn't pay the bill. Let me give you a little surprise about the AFC slate. I shouldn't really let the cat out of the bag and make a spoiler. I shouldn't be a spoiler, but don't tell anybody. They tell you, right? I'll give you a little insight. I'm not on the slate. I am not on the slate. And give it the cherry on the cake. Ricky's not on the slate either, nor Jarita. You didn't hear it from me. Folks, y'all better be thankful we had bring down your blood pressure, you know. I know you had a tense day and you come here and you sit down. You know, something must make you smile. You know, something must put a little smile. Not on the slate, folks, not on the slate. Pim, pim. Bonita, pim, pim. Pim, pim. I want to change up the bowling a little bit. Change up the order a little bit. Change up the order a little bit. Like Bantu King knows something. Bantu, you better tell me something. You know, Bantu, the people the hand or what, Bantu? You got more information than me. Pace and power. The Alliance for Change's Laura George, folks, spoke today about education in the hinterland and how children are affected by sometimes the quality of the education or the lack thereof during that press conference of the Alliance for Change. Take a look, take a listen, some of what Laura George said recently. Take a look.
Ms. Laura George, the AFC advocate for Amerindian Affairs, is concerned about the state of secondary education for Indigenous children. Speaking at the AFC press conference today, Friday, she noted the state of the secondary schools touted for some of the hinterland communities. There are major delays in the construction of the secondary schools, she said.
So, for example, the Monkey Mountain Secondary School contract was awarded in July 2024 for the secondary school at a cost of more than $208 million. It was supposed to be completed in about 8 to 9 months. And with photographs that we have received, it is not even 25% completed.
She said that this isn't the only one, it's one of many in the hinterland.
Another secondary school that is also behind time is the Jawala Secondary School, which is awarded to the Sheriff Construction Company from last year. It was also to last for 8 months at a cost of $231 million plus. That school is not about 50% either. And that's also with photographs coming from concerned residents and leaders within the communities.
She said that these two schools have company in the secondary school being constructed at Philippi in the Upper Mazaruni,
which is $275 million plus, which was awarded to ProRed Resources and was supposed to be completed in about 8 to 9 months again. Now, all of those secondary schools, the construction, as I said, is way behind time. For whatever reason, and the Ministry of Education need to provide answers, and everybody who's responsible need to provide answers as to why this construction is very much delayed.
There are also issues with school dormitories.
Santa Rosa Secondary School dormitory was under construction, and children from outlying areas who would need to stay at a dormitory to attend the secondary school had been sent home to their respective villages.
She said that these children are being denied their secondary education.
This is an injustice to Indigenous children. When we talk about the level of education or access to education that is for all Guyanese, it has not been coming to Indigenous children.
Yep. Welcome back, folks. You heard it there. Laura George. Ready for another spoiler? You ready? Didn't hear it from me. Laura is likely to be the AFC prime ministerial candidate. You did not hear it from me. Act surprised when that happens. You didn't hear it from me. Act surprised. Pim. Sister Laura George. Bring us up to speed. A very important subject matter, education in the hinterland. No, it's being left behind. You know, the People's Progressive Party, they've taken on more than they could chew. And you know, once we talk about the PPP, never shall ever disappear from before our eyes. And you got the power to make that happen, folks. September 1, 2025. Disappear them. You know, they're going already. You know. Just gotta come full snow. Going already, piece by piece. Kitty cutter. I want to come back to that press conference, the APNU Coalition's press conference today. Part of what the leader of the opposition, leader of the PNCR, spoke about, leader of APNU as well, is the mischief that is the PPP. They want you to use the exercise book that the ministry distributes. They want you to put Jaguar in your logo. Perhaps even the map of Guyana going to be problematic in the days and weeks to come. Who knows where this is going? I heard Aubrey Norton today articulate on these very issues. He says wickedness with the PPP. Once you are friends with them and you toe in the line, all is well and good. All is well and good. You know the problem is that when you decide to have an opinion of your own, especially if it's an opinion contrary to what they want, the direction that they're going in, contrary to that, cat eat your dinner. Cat eat your dinner. Enter businessman Asruddin Mohammed. And this sudden targeting of the businessman. You just hear the man launch a party name and they're scrambling. Win this, win that, win the next, win the third, win the other. Calm down, PPP. Calm down, hold and focus the man. Oh, shucks. Mr. Norton addressed this very issue today. And how the wicked, take a look, take a listen.
Dangerous, but it is also a clear indication that the PPP wants to rig the elections. And so they're creating an environment as if they will win. I see it differently. I don't see the PPP winning the next election by no stretch of imagination. Even if they hunt down Mohammed, because it is evident that, and I hold no brief for Mohammed, but it's evident that they intend to hang him down. You know, in any country governed by law, Jagdeo would have been arrested and put before the court. Here you are, as government, allege, first, you didn't believe any link to the killing of paper shots. You did everything. You even charged a policeman who said that the CCTV cameras had provided them with some information. You charge him. You hung him down. Now that Mohammed indicates he's going to be running, you turn around and talking about charging him for a murder. It means, therefore, that you at least had information to lead you in a particular direction in which you didn't go. And so if you go in there now, you should be charged for being complicit with murder. But the man is such a dishonest and barefaced piece of it that he thinks Guyana is his own. If a crime is committed and we happy with the person at the time of the allegation, nothing happens. But if we believe that this person is a threat to us, we bring up all the charges. When all the evidence was leaning in the direction of Minister Dharamlal being charged, the PPP stopped it. They will have to wait until we're in government to bring him to justice. And so you're dealing with a regime that is dictatorial and that they are willing to condone crimes if in their mind the person committing the crime is a friend and ally. But the minute you aren't, they are prepared to go after you. You cannot run a country in that fashion. You have to run based on the rule of law.
Yeah. Welcome back, folks. Mr. Norton himself. If you're a friend, if you're a family, if you're a favorite, you know, you accept it with whatever are your infractions against the law. But the minute you step out from that Mm. Can't eat your dinner. Can't eat your dinner, folks. You better believe it. You better believe it. That's why you better stay the course with that. You know, some of y'all get itchy ears now. You better stay the course with that. Pay some power. Good folks. Pay some power. I heard some news out of the Lines for Change press conference today. And I was like, thank you. You know, I was beginning to feel a certain way since Father's Day, Father's Night in particular. And today I had the ailment diagnosed. Today I had the ailment diagnosed. I said, Kurt Heidekan, Savage, Serene, Ivor Miller. You know what was affecting me? Huh? You know what's affecting me? I said Michael Reed said, vote Team Norton for law and order. True story that. True story that. You know what is affecting me? Coalition negotiation fatigue. That was the thing. I had it up to here. Somebody said, this was on the paper, this was in the back, sign here, go for Satur. Not the idea of coalition. Not what it portends. You know, not how it could bring us together. This thing here, that we call it. Yeah, that's how I started suffering from. Coalition negotiation fatigue. So when I heard this piece of news out of the Lines for Change, I said, well, yes, you don't come, Father, but you send.
I don't believe that. I think the prospects of anything positive coming out of further engagements, the prospects are marginal. We have moved on and we are heading straight to the election, as I'm sure APNU is.
Forward ever. Forward ever. Backward never. We're watching program time. We don't want to keep you folks a minute longer than we should. And we are going to see you guys on the podcast later on this evening. That being said, all things being equal, God willing, we're going to see you guys on the podcast later. But before we let you go, before we let you go, we heard Mr. Norton today, that PNCR presser, that APNU coalition presser, articulating some of the issues out of Linden. I saw Jagdeo too talking about combating racism in Linden, because the folks in Linden, the administration, the regional administration in Linden, and whether it's at the town council level or it's at the regional, this is the RDC level, push back against the foolishness of Jagdeo. Is racism. It's racism to point out how you got unequal development happening in this country, inequity economically in this country. Oh, it's racism now. All right. Case in point, the sports in Linden. That was the point that Mr. Norton was making and pointing out that these people ain't got no interest in places like Linden. Not a bit of it. It would have been wonderful. In our tenure, you all know we did a lot of projects in the area that traditionally do not vote APNU AFC, but they are the people of this country. We are all Guyanese, and so the development got to be in communities that don't favor you electorally as well, But that is the nature of the PPP. That is the nature, the DNA. Take a look at what Mr. Norton said.
Let us begin by how we got here. The PPP appointed an incompetent little boy named Charles Ramsey. Went into Linden and disrupted every sport facility you had except probably Christianburg. You went to the Mackenzie Sports Club, took down everything, created no alternative. The people are so disrespectful that there is the Mackenzie High School ground, and when Kashif and Shanghai were not likely to get a place to use, they began to do it, and then they stopped so that the ground is not usable. They inherited from us the athletic track in 2020. And in 2025, they cannot complete it. It is that level of incompetence this man calling experience. The man is a complete waste. Now, Linden is left in a situation, not only athletics, virtually no sport can be played for two reasons: the vindictiveness of the PPP and their incompetence. And then they run into Linden distributing contracts and then sending the friends with the equipment, so the people who got the contracts got to hire it from them. Londoners are aware and are going to vote them out of power. I repeat, take their money. It's your money. But throw them out of power for their incompetence, vindictiveness, and discriminatory behavior.
Here's some power, laying it out. There's the truth. It's the facts. Jagdeo calls racism. When you push back against the wickedness, racism. But that wasn't the end. Mr. Norton had saved something special for Jagdeo. He had something special for Trip on Jagdeo. You know, I call them Project Thieves a long time now. A long time now. Project Thieves. That's what they are. Before we go tonight, folks, before we go, the closer. The closer, before we go, we got to close off well. Trip on them. Pack of nonsense. You all know the whole thing, top to bottom. Gotta spell nothing out for you all. The whole story, Mr. Norton again. And some of the thieving projects, they're so barefaced. You know? Barefaced.
This man has no right to talk about competence. He is incompetent. He addresses no issue thoroughly, but sets out to attack people. Well, I say to you, Jagdeo, with all your years in politics, you have proven to be incompetent. The only skill you seem to have at commanding is lying. I turn now to you talking about people taking ideas. You, Jagdeo, criticize me for saying we will do cash transfers. And when you recognize the Guyanese people up for it, you came and own it like if it was yours. You are an intellectual thief. You stole the ideas from the APNU and putting it over as if it is yours. So you are an intellectual thief. You argued against free education at the university. We consistently demanded free education. You didn't say to people that it is your government removed free education. You go on now like if it is you bringing free education. The Guyanese youth must know that from 1976 up until 1994, when the PPP removed free education, Guyanese enjoyed free education from nursery to university. So don't come now as if you are some savior. If you think Skeldon is the biggest white elephant in this country, look in the mirror. You will see the biggest white elephant in that mirror, you, Jagdeo. And I decided to take you on today because you are a pathological liar. I don't want to describe you as a thief. So I will say you take people's ideas and seek to convert them to your own. I think you should just go and try and develop ideas and seek to put out ideas that come from your brain or lack of it.
There's where we leave it tonight, folks. There is where we're going to leave it tonight. We're going to see you guys over the weekend. All things being equal, we're going to see you guys later on this evening. All things being equal. You know, should the Lord tarry, as we say. Thanks for joining us. It's been a great audience, 3,300 of you live on the program right now. Thank you so much. Look how many of you joining us from Facebook. The majority, of course, on the tube. All our tubers, special good evening to you. Ring the bell one time. All of you across social media. Have a fantastic rest of the evening, fantastic rest of the weekend, folks. And we can see you guys around real soon. Real soon. Have a great evening, folks. That's our time and that's our program. Stay safe. But it's not there.